everybody doing today? I hope everybody is fabulous. So, in today's fabulous tutorial, we have a short but sweet and cute little tutorial. We are going to be making some little cute witches embellishments. And now this is not my idea. I did see a little picture on Pinterest. However, they don't really explain how they make them. They just have the picture on there. I just said that's super duper easy. Like there's really nothing to it. I mean, we could, hold on, let's lower the party here. We can go ahead and figure it out ourselves. And so we are going to be making these little bad boys right here. Obviously, they're a little bit different because we added our own little twist. I glittered the edges of the rosettes. I used this kind of a scallop circle and stuff like that. I made them a little bit different. So, but this is basically kind of the idea of what it looked like on Pinterest. And so we're going to be making these little bad boys. Let's not waste any more time, guys, because I know you want to get down to dirty, boo-boo. So let's get down to dirty, and I will see you in a bit. Alright then, my little crafty monsters, let's get down and dirty and make these little bad boys. So I usually make little rosettes. I sit my little chubby butt down and watch TV and make rosettes, and I throw them in this box. So whenever I need to make rosettes, I just pull these out and I decorate them according to whatever theme I'm going to do them. And lucky for me, I have some black ones, which I need to make some more. So I usually round these off by cutting them, but I also usually cut out a circle to the size that I want them to be, and then I use that like a template to go ahead and cut around that template and make it a perfect circle. I don't like to put these into my Cricut machine because it just flattens the ruffles and it makes the rosettes super duper flat, and you do not want them to look super flat. You want them to have a little bit of that volume. So like I said, I just go ahead and cut out a circle, and then I'm going to go ahead and just round that off with that circle as my guide. And I'm going to go ahead and do that to every single one of my rosettes. And this is how I make my rosettes look like a perfect circle. And don't worry about that white dot in the middle. That's usually just to hold my rosettes in place. But I'm going to go ahead and cover that with some DSP paper. And it is going to be from one of the Halloween collections that I have, which you guys have already seen. I have a lot of DSP paper in Halloween theme. So it's from one of those. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to glitter the edges of these little bad boys. And we're going to go ahead and use some of this like midnight holographic little glitter. And I love using this holographic glitter because you guys, the video doesn't do it justice, but it is an amazing glitter. And so it has like almost every color, but it's like in a dark shades. And so right here, you know, you already saw, I just went ahead and I put some glue on this piece of scrap paper because we all have scrap paper on hand. And then I went ahead and I rolled my little rosette in that scrap paper, and then I rolled it into the glitter, making sure that glitter gets onto every single one of that little, you know, the glue. You just want it to saturate in the glitter so that once it dries, I mean, that glitter stays on there. This Eileen's glue basically kind of seals almost, I want to say, like a silicone. And the reason why is because I've made like calendars before, and I went ahead and I used like you know, like glitter, and I mean, like, I don't know how to explain it. I put sheets of paper and I put the glue on top, and it seals all the sheets together, so you could like tear one sheet at a time, if that makes any sense. So this glue is really perfect for that. If you guys haven't seen that video, it's a video of a desk calendar I made. It's a while back. But anyway, so once you have these little bad boys all glittered and done, just go ahead and let these dry. And in the meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and cut out our decorative circle. And I did want to use this decorative circle, but I thought that it was a little bit too big. Maybe it wasn't too big because this scallop one ended up being kind of almost the same size. Just a little tiny bit smaller, but you know, so we went with this one. And it really depends on the size of the rosettes you guys are making, because if you guys are making some little tiny rosettes, then obviously you're going to use a smaller scallop little circle. But for in this case, I just went according to the size that I'm using. This is some little DSP paper, some bone paper. I felt that silver metallic paper will, you know, kind of like look really nice on this. So we're going to go ahead and use that to to use as the backing for these little rosettes. And I know that most of this paper you're not really going to see it, but I really thought that it was kind of cute peeping out, because you do see it peeping out from the edges of the rosettes. You guys will see right now. And at this point, you guys could basically get really creative, and you guys could use any kind of DSP paper that you guys want. If you guys want to just use solid cardstock, go ahead and use solid cardstock. If you guys want to use glittered paper, then go ahead and use glittered paper. I mean, you know, seriously, the possibilities are endless, guys. And so making embellishments, it's really just using everything that you have, so that you don't have to be buying new stuff. And, you know, you could always just use the stuff you have in different ways and just make everything look a little bit different. So in this case, we are going to go ahead and punch out a 1.5-inch circle that's going to go in the very front of this rosette, which is basically going to center that rosette, and it's going to mask that little white dot that's in the back. And usually I always do this. However, in this case, that white dot is a little bigger than I usually use for these rosettes. I usually use a little one, but I don't know what happened that day. I must have been not thinking correctly. So anyway, right here, I'm going to go ahead and use these little boots and witches felt cutouts, and these are from the Dollar Tree, guys. You guys could go ahead and find these at the Dollar Tree. It was amazing when I found these, because I was like, yay. And then also I found the little googly eyes and all these other little embellishment felt cutouts that I didn't use, obviously, but you saw them there. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and glue my little rosette to the center of those little bone papers. And I'm going to go ahead and do this assembly style. So I do all of that step first, and then I go on to the next step to all of them, and then I just continue working that way. And that's just the way I always work, guys. And so right here, we are going to go ahead and just be careful, because the glitter on these are still a little bit wet. But, you know, we're going to go ahead and just keep working for the sake of the video. And I'm using hot glue on these. Now, you could use any kind of glue that you guys want, but I'm using hot glue because I feel that it's just going to secure it pretty fast, and it still gives you a little bit of a wiggle time. I mean, a few seconds really to position that so that it looks centered. And then right here, we're just going to go ahead and center that little dot just to make it look a little bit more even. I mean, it's not a perfect circle, guys, honestly, but we could get as close as we possibly can, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that to every single one of these little rosettes. And you guys see how easy this is coming together? I mean, this is like super duper fast. I mean, I know that I kind of like speed up this little process here, but I honestly think that it is a good, 20 minutes or so. It's crazy. So right here, we're going to go ahead and just add our little boots, our little witches legs, and then our little witches hats. And then afterwards, we're going to go ahead and just use our little googly eyes to put that on there. And so right here, we're just going to go ahead and just lift up our little rosettes. And I'm using my tweezers. You guys could go ahead and use your tweezers. And then just placing these little boots there. They're all kind of facing the same direction, guys. So, I mean, just have in mind when you guys do purchase these that's just the way they come. And you could position these little boots, and you could position the little hats however it is that you guys want, honestly, to tell you the truth. I mean, there is no right or no wrong way how to do this little bad boys. And so right here, I'm just going to go ahead and just position the little legs kind of like, you know, in different ways. But it's kind of hard to tell because they're all kind of going the same direction, and the little hats as well. There's really only like 2 kinds that you could pick from, but I mean, they're still pretty cute. I kind of like how they looked. And so right here, I'm just taking out the backing, because originally these are stickers, but because I want to make sure that they are glued onto this and they are not going to fall apart, I'm using hot glue instead of just using the little sticky part that it originally comes with. And in order for it not to go slip off either way, I'm making sure that I'm taking off the backing, so that, you know, if you glue that paper part, it has a chance of peeling off. So you have to take off that little backing part of that sticker, and then you can go ahead and glue these little bad boys with some hot glue, and this would actually help you guys secure those into place, and then they won't go anywhere. Now, these are so easy to make, and they go by so darn quickly that like we are completely almost done, and we are going to go ahead and just glue on these little ojitos, which is the eyes, and then we're going to be done. But I'm not going to use my little hot glue gun because I don't want these eyes to melt. The back part of these little googly eyes is really thin plastic, and you don't want them to melt. So we are going to use some E6000 to secure these little bad boys on here. And I know that it's going to take a little bit longer, but you know, you're gonna have to just wait a little bit just so that they can kind of dry and that glue could, you know, cure completely. And then you know that those little eyes are not going to go anywhere. So in this step right here, you guys are going to see that we are going to use our little E6000 glue. And I just use a little tiny generous dot, and then I push it, because when you push this, it kind of spreads that glue out anyway. And so at the same time, you kind of don't want to add too much, because you don't want it oozing out from the edges of your guys' little eyes. And basically this is it, guys. How cute are these little guys? And you guys definitely have to try to make these little bad boys, seriously. Welcome back, my little crafty monsters. That's how easy it was to make these little bad boys. So I know these are super duper easy. I hope this inspires you guys to make some of these little witches monsters. I mean, I thought they were super duper cute, right? And you could also just put your own little flair into them. You don't have to make them exactly like this, because I mean, I know we don't all have the same exact stuff, so that's understandable. But I hope that inspires you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that little subscribe button, because then we become BFFFFFs, because I know BFs is good. It's good, boo-boo. But BFFFF is even better. And I know you guys want to be my BFF. So go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. And since you're already there, hit the bell icon, because that's for you, boo-boos. That's so that you guys don't miss out on any new content that I put out there. And go ahead and give us a thumbs up, because that helps us grow. And share and tell a friend, because your friends also need to know how fabulous these tutorials are. And that's it for now, my little crafty monsters. Until next time, goodbye.